everyone. Welcome back to the FrallaKnits podcast. My name is Stephanie. My pronouns are she, her, and we did it. We made it to episode 10. Yeah. So I am here today with a whole bunch of whips. I have 9 whips. I have 1 new start. I have some haul. Even though I didn't want to have haul, but you know, haul just shows up. I have some quilting to show you. I've been knitting a little bit, but I didn't bring anything up here. It's been kind of just, you know, pick up random project and put some stitches in. And anyways, and then I'm actually going to talk a bit about the books that I read during January. Maybe not about them, just maybe the fact that I did read them. One of my goals this year is to increase the number of books that I consume, which isn't too hard because I haven't been much of a reader, but I'm really enjoying that so far. Let's see. So right now outside we've got blowing snow. It's absolutely miserable. Not nearly as bad as I live in New Brunswick in Atlantic Canada, and a big storm came through Nova Scotia, which is the province just east of us, southeast of us. Came through there. We got a bunch of it here where I live as well, but I mean, down in Cape Breton, they are going to be digging out for a while. So not as bad here. The drifts are, you know, up over my boots. But there's also parts that are, you know, there's not much. Just because it's so windy, it's drifting. So anyways, enough about the weather report. I'm all cozied up in my woolies and here to talk about crafting, everyone's favorite topic. So yes, like I said, 9 whips. I have a few pretty large starts. Large as in, well, they are physically large, but also really exciting starts coming up in the next month or two. And I found that because of that anticipation, that's all I want to stitch on are these new starts. And so I would pick up a project and stitch for maybe a day and be like, nope, and put it back and pick up something else and stitch for a day and nope. And sometimes it was, you know, going through a few projects in one day just to try and find something to quench that, oh my goodness, I want to be stitching on, you know, X. So I have started one of those things. Another start is coming at the end of February, and then another again at the beginning of March. And then hopefully that'll be, let's all just pretend that's going to be it for a while. All right. Anyways, so on to my whips. Since I last saw you, it was some mid-January. I was hoping to get back at the end of January, but I'm still trying to figure out how to fit the floss tubing in with the crafting and the working and the homeschooling and all that jazz. So here I am. It is February 5th, 2024. And all right, again, here we go. So January 16th, there was a start along or a stitch along with Julie of Julie and Stitches 16, is that right? Oh goodness. Yeah, Julie and Stitches 16. Hashtag CCC with Julie Sal. So she, for her birthday, was asking people to find a project that somehow involves their culture, their community, or a cause that they're passionate about, and then find a designer from that culture, cause, community, and find a pattern to stitch on. So I pulled out, sorry, I just have my notes here. I pulled out Victory. It's by an artist on Etsy. She is Ukrainian and not Etsy. Oh my goodness. Artist. I follow her on Instagram. Oh my, this is going to be fun. So I follow her on Instagram, and I will have her info linked below because I don't have it in front of me. And so the pattern that I am stitching is called Victory. Here's what it will look like. Just super powerful woman. This is my type of fancy lady, let me tell you. And oh, I have a picture of what it looked like. I took pictures of most of the things, most of my whips before. So here's the picture of what it looked like when I picked it up on the 16th. And here I am now. So I worked on, I believe it was some of the blue in the flag. And then I started kind of framing out her face. Love it. I love stitching on this. I love the colors. I love, you know, the sentiment. Yeah. So maybe I'll pick it up, all the plans, try stitching on it every 16th, or when I feel like running and hiding and crying about the state of the world. So Victory, love it. Thank you, Julie, for, you know, getting a year older and hosting this sale. All right, number 2 is on the 17th. I stitch on Trans Pride Tapestry, and so I pulled it out again in January. I'm thinking if I'm only stitching on this once a month, it's going to take me forever. I stitch this for my eldest, who is trans, and their birthday is this month. So maybe I'll work on more of it this month for them. So I think what I stitched on was all this pink and diamonds and possibly up the unicorn's head. If you've been here, you know that I am not stitching in the called for diamond. I am stitching in a substituted étoile because diamond made me want to die. So there we are. That's how far I've gotten so far. I don't even think I'm halfway there. It's a lot of fill-in. So yeah, maybe I'll try and get, you know, a chunk in. Or yeah, we'll figure something out. I would like to get this done. It's beautiful. I would love to have it framed and in their room. So there we go. Number 2. All right. Number 3, I think is when I kind of started just floundering and excited about new starts and wanted to stitch on anything. So number 3 is Winter Shepherdess. Here's what it will look like. And I also have a picture of where it was when I picked it up. And here we are now. So, she didn't have legs. She only had a little bit of her cap. I added that, and yeah, all of the other motifs that you see. It's cute. I love it. So this is from a series from a French shop on Etsy. I'll link all the info below. And this is the winter. They have a spring, summer, autumn as well that I, you know, long-term plans. I'm going to stitch them all on this piece of fabric. I have one little counting error. Somehow I messed up the tree and sheep. There's supposed to be a stitch of space in between them, but there isn't, and that's all good. So there we go. That's my Winter Shepherdess. Cute. All right. Whip number 4 is a Dimensions kit, Moonlight Cabin. And yeah, I had a craving. Does anyone get this? Where you like, I had a craving for stitching on dimensions. I wanted something with blends and really persnickety stitches. You know, sometimes give me a monochromatic sampler and that's all I want to do. Other times I want to, yeah, persnickety stitches. So, oh, here's a picture of where it was when I started in January. And here I am now. So just working on that cabin. It's some of the tree. Let's see if we can the tree that is here kind of in the foreground is all just single strand half stitches. So that's kind of fun. I'm just trying to fill in the bits around it so I can just go ham on all of the half stitches. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I can stitch it in hand. Who was I watching? I believe it was Elizabeth Ann. Elizabeth Ann can stitch. She was talking about how she stitches in hand, and I thought, you know what? I want to try that. So a few of the project, maybe one or two of them, I chose to stitch on because I could start working on, you know, that sewing method. I'm usually in the frame, in a Q-snap, two-handed stitcher, but sometimes it's nice to just like curl up on the couch in front of the fire and, you know, you have your project and you're just cozy instead of having to deal with the Q-snap. But yeah, so I'm stitching this in hand. I'm not doing the sewing method on this one, mostly because it's, I believe this is 18 count Aida, and it was just too difficult for me to get the needle in and out in each stitch. So I'm doing poke and stab in hand, but it's still fun. So that is Moonlit Cabin. All right, number 5, on the 24th and 25th of each month, I stitch Christmas. So I am working on Santa's Big Bouquet by Teresa Kogut. Here's a picture of what it will look like. This one, I don't have a picture of where I was when I picked it up, but I can tell you that what I worked on was the vase. This is all that I put in. It's on Aida Vintage Country Mocha Aida, and yeah, just, you know, easy stitching, and yeah, pick it up for a couple days a month and get what stitches I can in, and you can kind of see what I have up there. But yeah, what I did this month was just in here. All right. And then I picked up another whip. And was I doing this? No, I was doing this in a Q-snap. I don't know what, I think it was, so that it would have been after the 24th, 25th. I think I was kind of in the transitioning into February stitching, which for me is all about love, and just wanting to stitch some of that. I wasn't really feeling winter anymore, although today, yes, I am feeling the winter. I can barely feel my fingers. So I picked this one up and there was barely anything in it. So this is Built on Love by Silver Creek Samplers. And I don't have a picture. Oh, I don't know if I had a picture, but really all that I had was part of this tee. Okay, so that's where I started, and I picked it up, and I actually thought that I was going to get a finish on this. So here I am now. So really all I need to finish is the tee in together, and then I need to finish the word built. There's a couple of words that go up top, and yeah, just a couple of little motifs. I'm doing my own color conversion on this. The birdhouse I changed to yellow with white trim because we live in a yellow house with white trim, and in the pattern it was kind of blue, but since I'm pulling my own colors, I'm gonna pull my own colors. So yeah, it's so much fun to stitch. I love it. I love it so much. I can't wait to get it done. The only thing is it has a date. So I'm doing this for my partner and I, but I don't know what to do for the date. We are not currently married. We would like to possibly be married in the future. So whether we put the date here of when maybe we started dating, or I save it for when we have a marriage date, I don't know. Anyways, so I will do all of it except for the date and call it a finish, but it won't be fully finished until I figure out what to put in there. So, Built on Love. Yeah, I love that. It is so much fun. My own Roxy floss, and I think it's all Roxy floss. There's no hand dyed by Rolanda. Although, what's this? What are you? Oh, you're nothing. Yeah, it's all Roxy floss. Just a smattering of floss. All right, next, 13th and 31st, I stitch Halloween, and I am working on All Hallows Eve sampler. I'm stitching this with Elizabeth of Savory Sewing. We started it on Friday the 13th in October, and in her, I think it was her most recent video, she mentioned that she wants to finish it this year, which made me go, eek! I better get working more on it. So here's where I was when we started, and here is where I am now. All right, so I got a D and E, a K, some of the L, and some of this cat. I think, I also did some of the border. I found that I'd made a mistake in my stitching of the border here. There's supposed to be 2 stitches in between each 2 stitch block, and on one of them, on one of them I only had 1, just like that. Just like that. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. All right, on the 13th, I'm going to start with some frogging. Oh. Okay, so All Hallows Eve sampler. I really am enjoying stitching this. It is by Joan Elliott, and she has several samplers in this style for all different holidays, seasons, and that, and I definitely see myself picking up more of them once this one is done. I can't believe I made that same counting error. Oh my gosh. All right, let's hope that I remember that in a week when it's the 13th and I pull that out again. All right, next I pulled out my Peppermint Lane. There we go. I am stitching this. There's 9 of these. I am stitching them all on one piece of fabric, and I am taking out the labels of the houses. This one's called Tea House. I'm taking out the labels, and I am moving some of the motifs around to where they fit better, and I'm replacing the labels with lyrics to a Christmas song that I enjoy. Oh, so here is where it was when I started, and I haven't got a ton done. I think I only worked on this for part of a day. It was one of those, I just want something to work on. So I finished outlining the windows and some of the snow details, and I think now I can just go ham on that pink. Yeah, so that's where I am so far. So this chart comes with these flowers here. I don't believe they're gonna fit, and also I have flowers right there. I'll find some other motif, or I'll probably just put some of these like quilt square snowflakes sort of in that spot. But yeah, I got the house, and then I'll have one more house beside it with another chunk of the lyrics. Maybe I should be working on this on a day like today when it's blustery and gross out. All right. And last but not least on the whip department, now that I'm back at work, wanted something that I could just leave at work, even though it's now here with me. Something easy. This is on 14 count Aida. So I am stitching Forget Me Not by Beth Twist. It's from a magazine. Oh, it's from the Gift of Stitching. March, April 2012, issue number 71. So there she is in all of her black and white glory. And I am, shockingly, doing my own color conversion with Roxy Floss and probably hand-dyed by Rolanda. So there we go. Forget Me Not. Yeah, it's cute. I love the colors that I have chosen. And, you know, I'm now off work for a couple of weeks. My partner's going out west to visit his family. So I took time off work so I can be here with our family. And yeah, so I will bring that back to work when I go back and hopefully get it finished up sooner rather than later. All right, so now the big kahuna. What all of my scattery stitching. Here is the first start that was distracting. Distracting me. I saw that Evertote Roxy Floss had made a conversion for a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. I love this. It is, everyone I'm sure has seen it, by the Scarlet Letter. Yeah, it's beautiful and was on my list of things to do, but you know, my list of things to do, if I did all of the things on it, I would get nothing done. I already get nothing done, so don't come here for the finishes. So they released a Roxy Floss conversion, and that was it. It put me over the top. I needed it. So I ordered the floss, and amazingly, oh my goodness, this came, I think I ordered it on like a Monday or Tuesday, and it was there by the Friday. Super fast shipping. Mind you, I did order it as soon as I think I saw it on Instagram. Kerri had posted that she was starting this, and like it was Insta order. So I think I got it pretty soon after they announced they were going to be doing it. And on their last video, I think they said that, you know, this is a bunch of floss. And they've got a bit of a delay as far as fulfilling this order, but they're always fantastic. It is beautiful. I love it. I did a center start because not everyone, but most of the starts that I've seen on Instagram are this top left. I mean, the whole thing is beautiful, but I just wanted something different. So I did center start, and here I am. It is so fun. I love that I can outline when I feel like counting, and I can color in when I don't. I should say Roxy Floss has dyed a fabric for this. It's called Pub Crawl, Pub Peacock Unicorn Badger. It is green so that you do not have to stitch this green. But I'm a sucker for punishment. So I decided I'm going to stitch the green. And actually, you know what? On camera, it looks fantastic. This is on a 20 count ivory Aida. And yeah, the variegation in the floss is beautiful. I'm so very happy with this. So this is what I started this just a couple of days ago. The floss came lickety split, and then I ordered the chart from 123 Stitch, and then I realized I didn't have a big enough piece of fabric for it, so I had to order the fabric from 123 Stitch. So yeah, those were the things that took forever. But yes, peacock, oh my goodness. Peacock, unicorn, badger. You will be seeing lots more of this. I love it. Okay, so there we go. That's all of my stitching. Now on to haul. Like I said, I have wanted to not be hauling as much because I love all of the things that I have, but I have these 3 starts. So there was that came as haul. There's also, I am, for the leap year Sal, I am starting Saga from Long Dog Sampler. I have everything for that ready to go and just want to break into it. There's no hard and fast rule that I have to start on the 29th, but I kind of want to start on the 29th. So I have that start coming up. And then the other start that is planned, was planned before I decided I don't really want to be starting all of the things, was I saw this Bella Filipina. Sorry, oh, all of the crinkling. I saw this Bella Filipina when it got released. Olivia the Forest Witch. And had to have it. And then Elizabeth of Savory Sewing, she also had to have it. So we decided that we would have it together. We're going to start it for her birthday in March. So I ordered the pattern. And I've also ordered from 123 Stitch all of the goodies. So the specialty floss, the beads, and there's a couple of little charms. Sorry for all the shinies, but yeah, it's just easier to show you this way. I will be pulling the DMC from my stash. And then I had to figure out fabric. Now this is done on kind of like a pinky purpley, and I believe Elizabeth has bought the called for. I did not buy the called for. I went to 123 Stitch and I chose 2 fabrics on there that I thought might look good, might work. One of them was, I was trying to go for a pinky purpley, and the other one is not that. So I'll show you the pinky purpley that I got first. It is Pansy Lugana, 28 count. And I didn't realize when I ordered it that it is sparkly, and you can see that like crazy. And I don't want sparkly for this. Well, yeah. Yeah, no, this is the no fabric, but I do have possible plans for this. Stand by. So the fabric I think I'm going to go with, this is 28 count Cyprium by Picture This Plus linen. That, I believe, is what I'm going to go with. So it is far more, it's got some pinks in there, but it's far more leaning orange. Definitely makes me think forest though. Forest floor, forest in fall. I'm hoping that those greens in her dress are just gonna pop and be beautiful. So I need to pull the DMC just to make sure with the floss toss that it will work, but that is my plan. So that was haul number, I don't know, 2 and 3. I you know, couldn't order everything at once. I had to make extra little orders. And then of course, when I ordered just a couple of things, I couldn't let them travel alone. So I picked up the other 2 from this French kitchen series that I didn't have. I have 2 of them. One of them is apples and sage, I think. And what's the other one? Mint and strawberry, I want to say. So here I have poire. I thought that was pepper, but I'm thinking maybe it's pears. What are you? Anyways, my French is not as good as possibly it should be. I believe this one is blueberries and thyme. So yeah, I now have all 4 of them, and you know, I'll stitch them sometime. Okay, I also picked up a couple of patterns off of Etsy, both enabled by you evil enablers out there. The first one that I picked up is called, it's a hummingbird stained glass piece. Here it is. It is by Sharova Creations on Etsy. I love hummingbirds. Hummingbirds, dragonflies, sunflowers, give me all of those and we'll be friends. So yeah, I've been wanting to do a stained glass stitch for a bit. It's, you know, it's full coverage, but big blocks of color. This one, I mean, the colors are bright and vibrant and I love them. But I found that a lot of the stained glass ones were, at least that I was seeing, were, there's a lot of Disney out there, and I'm sure it's not technically licensed. So I feel good about this Etsy shop. I should say I was enabled by Karen of the Stitching Owl, because she showed, she is doing an owl, I believe. She showed hers, and oh my goodness, she started it for the back to school sale and she is making incredible progress on it. You should definitely go and check it out, the Stitching Owl. And yeah, as soon as I saw it, I went to the shop, and they have the hummingbird one, and they also have a couple of them with sunflowers, and oh, it was hard to choose, and I'm never going to have the time to stitch two. Like, so I went with the hummingbird one because I do have a couple of sunflower projects on the go, and so figured I get the hummingbird. It's beautiful. Anyway, so hummingbird stained glass. The second pattern I got was this August birth month flower. It's by Luthean Art Shop on Etsy. And it is, I didn't know this, I'm born in August, and my birth flower is apparently a gladiola. It's gladiola and poppy, which I also didn't know. But so this chart has a gladiola, and it's beautiful, and the border is gorgeous. And I think, again, I'll do a floss toss, but I think I'm going to put it on that pansy fabric, the purple glittery happy. Also, it says gladiolas stand or signify gorgeous and romantic, which, oh, isn't that nice? So yeah, that is definitely going to be a start. It's beautiful. I was enabled by Jessie of Jessie Does Stuff, and Mandy of Stitching Bee 82. They are doing their own birth months. And so, yeah, I was basically like, I love these. I'm going to join you. I hope it's not too creepy. And they were very welcoming. So I will be starting that soonish. Okay, so that is it for the stitching goodness. Oh, all right, on to some quilting. I brought two whips to show you. First off, I finished my January block of the month. This is by A Quilting Life. I bought the block of the month from the Fabric Loft, which is an online store in Alberta. And so I finished block one. This is my January block. I bought the block of the month club that comes with this fabric and also a Christmas fabrics as well, to make a second quilt along the way. I have not stitched the Christmas one yet. I'm still settling into my new craft room, and so I had time for this one, and I love it. It was a lot of fun. So that one is done, and then the other quilt that I kind of started was, I showed this I think when I got the magazine in. Laurel of she quilts and stitches. I'll put her down below. Anyway, she was flipping through this magazine. This is the December issue from last year of American Patchwork and Quilting, and she showed this pattern, and I said, oh, I really love that, and I love rainbows, so I am going to do a rainbow version. So I finally started my first kind of color. So here's the rainbows that I have pulled, and I am pairing them with, these are just black on black prints. So I thought this would just be a lot of fun. And I have finished each of those fat quarters. I can get 8 of these blocks. So basically, here we are. Oh, there's some shimmer in that fabric too. So nice. So my plan is, let's see if I can find that. Please hold. There we go. Okay, so my plan is to basically do probably like a diagonal-ish rainbow. So starting with, like my sweater, pink through reds, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, dark pink, like that maybe, or depending on how I'm feeling at the time, I might, you know, start with a green up here and go through the rainbow. We'll see. But for now, I'm just making a whole bajillion of these blocks. And, oh, that corner, that one right there, not fantastic. But a lot of my other corners are. So that's good enough for me. Let's see. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's been fun. But it's all just crafting time, right? And you work on quilting and you can't get all your stitching done, and you work on stitching and you can't get your knitting done, and I just want to read books, and oh goodness. Okay. Oh, quilting haul. So what else have I got? I got the February. I won't, it's the same fabric, but I'll show you what the blocks will look like. So here's the February fabric for my block of the month. So here's the Christmassy ones, not stitching on them, not sewing them yet. So here is the fabric that came for February, and the blocks will, let's see, look like that. That's a lot of half square triangles. Yeah, so I will hopefully have that done by the end of this month. I really want to keep up with this, and I believe I can and will. So that came, and also my next issue of American Patchwork and Quilting came, and I mean, the quilts in here are all gorgeous, right? But oh my goodness, I told you I love hummingbirds. Look at this. Look at that. When I started quilting, I swore I would never hang anything on the wall, that quilts were for cuddling under. Guess what? I need this and will totally hang it on the wall. Probably in my craft room. Do I know when I'm going to make this? No. Maybe in the next 5 years. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of a standout for me in this magazine, because hummingbirds. All right. So that's it for all of the crafty goodness. I don't really have plans to tell you. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And, you know, I'll be back in 2 to 4 weeks. But let's move on to the reading that has kept me entertained. I'm loving reading. I'm loving the escapism of it. And I'm loving reading in all of its formats, audiobooks and ebooks and physical copies, hardbacks, soft covers, whatever. So this last month, I listened. I will say, does anyone, when they're listening to books and you're stitching or quilting, do you like attach that book to that project? Like, you know, I'll look at a whip and I'll think, oh yeah, that is the Hunger Games. So I listened to the first 3 because there's now a fourth book. I listened to the first 3 of the Hunger Games, and it was actually kind of funny when I would pull out a project and sit down to possibly, watch Flosstube while working on the project. I would instantly be pulled back to, oh no, this is the project that I'm working on while listening to the Hunger Games. And so no Flosstube, have to listen. I will also say, we're talking books, but totally not. I'm all over the place. This quilt in here is called Evergreen. And I am doing it in rainbow colors. So I was calling it, as I was stitching on it, this was my rainbow evergreen. But as I was stitching on it, I was listening to Hunger Games. So Katniss Everdeen, Rainbow Evergreen, it worked. So yes, I listened to all 3 of those. I had not read them up until now. I had only seen the first movie. And I don't know. I don't know what drew me. I think Audible had them on sale, or they had like a 2-for-1 credit thing, and the series was in there, and so I picked them up. And yeah, I love me some dystopian future. It's kind of, research for where we're headed. So that's sad. So yeah, so I listened to those 3. I really enjoyed them, and I have since rewatched the first movie, and I will watch the second, and then they split the third book up into 2 movies. I'll watch those and then listen to the new book and watch the new movie, and it'll be fantastic. So anyways, listen to those. I read on my e-reader, I borrowed from Libby, The Violin Conspiracy, and that was a book that made me angry. Can I say angry in a good way? I like if a book makes me feel something. So it is kind of a mystery about the disappearance of a Stradivarius violin that's worth $10 million. But it's also a commentary on race and racism. And yeah, there were parts of it that just made me angry and made my stomach churn. And also the mystery was fun. And I will say I read it as kind of a group read with a book Facebook group I'm in. And we had it broken down like, okay, let's read the first part and then we'll talk about it on this day. And then we'll read the second part and talk about it this day. So I zoomed through the first part and I loved it. I wanted to keep going, but I know that I would have a hard time like knowing where that stopped, and I didn't want to give spoilers. So I stopped and waited until we, had our discussion about it. And then by that time though, I had moved on to other books and had kind of lost my momentum. And so then I hadn't read the parts that we were discussing next. And I guess end of the day, I learned buddy reads, maybe not for me, or maybe a buddy read, like just one-on-one. So, if I'm reading a book along with a friend, I can, be upfront with, oh my gosh, can you believe X happened? And like, can you catch up so we can talk about it? Or, hey, hold up, haven't been able to finish. But anyways, so yeah, group reads, probably not for me. The book though itself, I would recommend it. It was good. It was good. Now in my ears while stitching, I am listening to Iron Flame. I have the book, but I'm listening to it. Because there's only so much time and I want to be reading, but I want to be stitching. And so being able to listen to books means that I can do both at the same time. So I've started listening to that. I don't know, I'm maybe a quarter of the way through. I'm enjoying it. It's dragons. And I will say, one thing I loved, so I also have Fourth Wing, which is the first in the series. One thing that I really loved when I opened this book to read it was they have like a content warning at the front, which I super respect. It kind of, it says, Fourth Wing is a non-stop thrilling adventure fantasy set in the brutal and competitive world of a military college for dragon riders, which includes elements regarding war, battle, hand-to-hand combat, perilous situations, blood, intense violence, brutal injuries, death, poisoning, graphic language, sexual activities that are shown on the page. Readers who may be sensitive to these elements, please take note and prepare to enter Basgiath War College. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I have not seen a trigger/content warning at the front of a book before. So they had a similar one at the front of Iron Flame. But I will say that I have a potty mouth in real life. But reading it, I don't know. It kind of gave me like the heebie-jeebies. And then listening to like the audiobook I think the audiobook, it made it a little easier. Like I didn't cringe at the swear words as much, but reading them really bugged. I don't know what it was. Anyways, it was odd and wonderful to learn that about myself. Yeah, so I'm listening to that now. I will also say, for anyone who is still here, I have, of course, stumbled into Booktube, and oh my goodness, just, scrolling through YouTube, and this woman's channel, her name is Lisa. Her channel is called The Unhinged Woman Book Club. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, subscribe instantly. Oh my goodness. And so I'm now following her on Instagram. I'm watching her videos. She is so wonderful. And I love unhinged women. Probably because we're two peas in a pod. But so anyways, I've been watching her Booktube, and she has been reading about Napoleon. And I can listen to her talk about reading about Napoleon for hours on end. She is just absolutely delightful. And yeah, just waxing poetically. She wants to know all about like him as a person, as opposed to him the conqueror and military man. And I love just seeing how she's like deep diving into all of, the women in his life, and it's wonderful. So yeah, I will absolutely watch Lisa talking about reading about Napoleon every day of the week. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. If you're into Booktube stuff, I don't know how the rest of Booktube is, so I don't know if she is, similar, different, what her own thing, but she is just wonderful. I thoroughly enjoy watching. Anyways, that's it for me. Like I said, don't really have any plans, just kind of gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I will speak with you, in the next bit here. I hope you all have a wonderful February. I hope that you get lots of stitching and reading and anything else that, lights a fire for you done. And I'll see you next time. Bye.